We have actually game number 1 of a best of 7 here at our hands. It is going to be the match between, well, Moro and Space Marine here at this particular game at the NationWars 2. And right now we have the base already started for Space Marine, the Protoss player with his Nexus, the Terran player to the top left, starting here for Sweden. He's the starting player for his team, and they have no Protoss player actually. It's 2 Zerg players and a Terran that fight for Sweden. Whereas to the bottom right we have the Danish player, Space Marine, the Protoss player starting things up here. They have Bunny and Baby Knight just waiting for their chance to win a couple of games here. Now let's see how exactly this is going to turn out right now in game number 1. Who's going to take the lead in this particular match? Moro all the way at the top, already building his own command center as well. And as you can see to the top left, we have him with a second barracks already being produced. Having a reactor here at the front allows him to get a couple of Marines into the picture, whereas the Reaper is mostly designed to just jump in and have a look at what exactly the Protoss player is up to and what's going to be the tech. This is the round of 16. The winner is going to advance to the round of 8, where they will face Norway. Norway was able to take down the Netherlands earlier with a 4-1. The only player to win a match was actually Harstem. It was close to defeating Targa as well, but in the end it was Targa who closed out the series and won the last game in the best of 7. The format here is very similar to the Acer Team Story Cup if you're watching that tournament. We are going all the way until one team is defeated, and then you can revive one of your players. You can go for an ace player, and in the series that we had before that, it was actually U-Thermal that got revived. For the Netherlands, was taken out by Targa then as well though. But this is now a completely different beast. Sweden versus Denmark is going to be a great one. And well, that Reaper is having a little bit of trouble taking down a Stalker. It would be quite interesting if the Reaper would be able to win that battle. But for now, it's just like both of them testing the waters a little bit. Not too much, like not a lot of aggression. Moro here at the top is just like having a bunker to secure his own natural. We have him now with a second gas taken so far, not even a factory being built for the Swedish player. We have him with the double barracks here, and of course going straight for the stim upgrade, whereas Space Marine is headed into a very early, really early warp prism that he's using here. The Reaper is trying to jump into the main base once again. You're probably not going to see the warp prism itself, but maybe getting a kill on one of the probes. Well, he's moving back right now. Yeah, gets one. Gets a probe kill, and the Mothership Core puts then an end to the Reaper. But resources lost, as you can see, a single probe up against a single Reaper that we had there. That's kind of it for now. To the top left, though, we have gas now also taking at the natural, with the factory, of course, already started. And we see the +1 attack upgrade about to be completed. The harvester count is 33 against 37. And all the way to the bottom, we have now not only an observer entering the main base, but also the warp prism moving out, going for another round of warp-ins. And let's see how much damage he can do with that. Trying to check that out for now. So we have an Immortal also being built behind this, and later on I guess we're going to see double Immortal drops against the Terran player, starting to do a little bit of damage. The double Forge started here for Space Marine, already indicating that he wants to try and run with that massive upgrade advantage that we see a lot of Protoss players just edge out with the Chrono boost that they get there. But for now it's all about the Warp Prism and the early harass against the Terran player's position. In the main base there's not a lot to defend. Most of the units are currently down there at the bottom, taking down the debris to the right side. The Warp Prism is still waiting a little bit. We have the Protoss player at the bottom right getting the Immortal into position, getting the +1/+1 started with the double upgrades that he has there, and also Chrono boosting in another Immortal already. Waiting a little bit long with that Warp Prism to do any damage whatsoever, and Moro is heading into his own starport now himself. He's already getting the reactor there on the factory, just switching it up, and he can go into the double medevac production. And with the +1 attack upgrade already completed, we see armor on the production tab. Going for that. Will at least at the beginning be a little bit ahead of his opponent in upgrades, but if Space Marine really utilizes the energy on the Nexus properly, then that shouldn't really become a big issue for him. So far we don't see a lot of Chrono boosts there, still quite some energy on the Nexus, and the Warp Prism is making its way over now, straight into the main base, trying to go for it. There's immediately the Sentry, nice force field, trapping a lot of the SCVs at the beginning. Tries to trap more, but in the end he leaves a small gap. His opponent can just simply escape. So a little bit of force field or sentry energy was wasted here, but at the same time mining time lost for our Terran. So that's definitely a bit of an issue for him. And starting all the way to the bottom right, what do we see for the Protoss? Still no Chrono boosts on the Forges here. Has a lot of energy available on the Nexus that he could use for that. The same is also true in the main base. Getting a lot of gateway units on the other hand. Looks like it's going to be a 1-1 for now, but the So Highlight Council is already on the way, and that means that we are going to see the 2-2 upgrades for him, of course, as well. Moro so far not aggressive in the game at all, has only one Marine over here that tries to find out if there's maybe already a third base planned for Space Marine, which is not the case at this point. So we have the third actually over here. The Marine sees that as well, was trying to block it with the factory. That's not going to happen. Actually, the factory needs to be careful that it isn't taken down here, but we don't have a lot of anti-air, so I don't think it matters too much. In the main base of his opponent, the Swede is going up into additional barracks now, spotted by the Observer, and a third base for him as well. And Moro is moving in, trying to just snipe the Nexus here, and he's getting a cancel. Really well done, getting the drop into the main base now as well, and immediately Space Marine trying to move back, but he has to be careful. There is no... Actually, there's no percussive shell for the Marauders. If that would be the case, a few of those dogs would have probably died here too. Takes down 1 or 2 units, tries to move back, saves even the last medivac. Really well done. Jumps in again, and now those doggers have to really move back immediately. And once again, the lack of a concussive shell upgrade is a bit of a problem there for Moro, because he could have killed a lot more than that. Widowmine not being burrowed just yet. Well, yeah, just leaves it alone. That is, that's a sad Widowmine. The Widowmine instructor is once again like saying the same thing. Like, dude, first thing is you burrow. It's like, what? But I want to shoot right away. And it's like, no, you burrow first. And like, but I want to shoot. It's like, you burrow. And like, ah. So yeah, doesn't get the block here off. Could have forced another scan. That didn't really happen. But talking about forcing things, maybe another forced cancel. He's going into the main base instead. He's trying to. Whoa, there's the snipe. Oh, Moro loses 1 medivac, loses 2, loses 3. A few stalkers die in the process as well. And all of these units are, of course, going down. He's just trying to get the best out of it. Gets the mothership core, gets the ball. He's actually killing quite a lot here, to be absolutely honest with you. This army, I mean, at first when I saw it, I was like, yeah, that is absolutely a waste of units. But in the end, he got a lot more out of this than I thought he would get. So Moro in a decent position, concerning that his third base was just so much faster than his opponent's. And starting to the left side of the map, we have at this point the Warp Prism just trying to move into the main base once again. Not a lot of warping's going to happen here. And guess what? The Viking apparently not really chasing it down. There we go. Warp Prism is ancient history. Another Marine over here gets taken out too. So at least at this point, Moro doesn't really know any longer whether there's a third base for his opponent or not. This one was already about to take. +2/+2 is now done. Just as a side note, for our Protoss player, couldn't start +3/3. Oh, another snipe on the medivacs. Moro has to be careful with that. Space Marine is starting to take lead. +2 attack is nearly done. Not just yet, he's still on 1-1, but Moro gets, yeah, he is getting a lot of units sniped here. That's 4 medivacs that he lost already, 18 Marines, 7 Marauders, and yeah, it's a little bit annoying for him. The drop attempt at the beginning were really strong. Can try to force another attack right over here, but there are too many Zealots already. Goes for the, Zealots, and they have no charge upgrades just yet, so the Zealots are a little bit out of luck. And, yeah, Concussive Shell just about to finish. Going into the main base once more, a few Stalkers are ready. This time he moves back. This time he doesn't really want to lose those. Working at the debris now too. He's really just trying to apply some pressure. With the 4th base now also being built for Moro, who has an observer here still against himself. We have a sensor tower being built. Those debris are already down and opens up the path towards this base, but there's also a Colossus waiting, whereas the 3rd is being attacked again. That's trying to maybe snipe, no, just trying to get maybe 1 or 2 of the Zealots. Doesn't get too much. So Moro with really a lot of aggression, but Space Marine with a decent defense. At the beginning it really looked like a bit like the Terran player could really force maybe another cancel on that base, but instead decided to go into the main base when then his medivacs were sniped. And that became a bit of a theme for the last few minutes. Moro is still starting to take a bit of a lead there, since he has that 3rd base already and the 4th incoming. Harvester count 63-63 with the additional mules. Moro, of course, taking the lead in the income for him, at least for now. And what else do we have? We have currently Vikings being produced against the Colossi that we see for Space Marine. We have 1 Viking so far against a single Colossus. That's a battle that I want to see. More Vikings also on the way, but I think we still have single starport. With all the resources that he has, Moro would actually be well advised, in my opinion, to get a 2nd starport too. Makes him a little bit more flexible in adjusting his Viking and medivac ratio here, and he definitely has the resources to pull it off. He has a bank of 1,400, 1,000 gas as well, is heading straight into the +3 attack upgrade right now. The same is, by the way, something that we'll see for Space Marine. Oh, and he gets double starport even. Gets 2 more. That's pretty cool. So that will allow him to get at least 4 units at a time if he doesn't even put a reactor on one of those. But yeah, we have +3/+3 now on the way for Space Marine, who is still on 3 bases. He's still on 3 bases, and the army supply is identical for the 2 players. Moro will be on 2-2 when Space Marine hits his 3-3, if the chrono boosts are being applied here. But for now, it's just the Terran player trying to defend his base. The ghosts are immediately being sniped, but not before they get at least one EMP off. The attempted focus down on the planetary fortress is repaired already, but this is just way too much DPS. The Immortals alone are also already raising the structure down, and suddenly Space Marine is moving in, claims 1 base, and we have a big drop for Moro all the way at the bottom here with in total 4 medivacs. This is one of the main reasons why Moro is starting to struggle a little bit all the way at the top here. He has to pull his SCVs too. The Vikings starting to do the damage against those Colossi. Take one of them down. The second Colossus is being attacked all the way at the bottom of the map. We have the Terran player still going strong. Space Marine is starting to run out of supply. He's at only 33 army supply against 91. Moro in a great position here to finish this first game in favor of Sweden. He is taking down, or could maybe take down this base, trying to drop onto the high ground, chasing down that Colossus, and he gets it in the end. The medivacs, they have to fall back, at least for now, but still the stutter step working against the Zealots, and actually the Photon Overcharge is already gone, trying to go into the high ground once again. An attempted snipe on that Nexus maybe. Reinforcements streaming across the map already. It's 77 total supply for Space Marine against 133 for Moro. Moro starting to move in against this base over here. There's nothing to defend. Suddenly Space Marine is being hit at 2 places at once, and he might lose the Nexus here. That would put him back on 2 bases with the main mineral line nearly depleted. Yes, the 3rd base is gone. And even at this point, Space Marine does not know about this base at the top here. He has no idea that there is actually another base for his opponent. So he himself finds himself in a very bad situation right now, because it's 2 bases with 1 running out of mineral patches against 2 mining, against 3 mining actually. And we still have another command center being built. Resources lost at this point, 15,000 against 13,000, and the army supply, as mentioned earlier already, heavily in favor of Moro. 108 against 45. His harvester count is a little bit low, but that's not really a problem with the mules that he has. He's moving cross map once again, and he has what it takes to win this game right now. There are no Colossi. He has the Vikings, so even if Space Marine is able to chrono boost out a Colossus, it's not going to accomplish anything unless he's able to snipe somehow, miraculously, all of the Vikings before that's done. So Space Marine really starting to struggle here a little bit, trying to defend, of course. He does also not have Storms ready, so there's no area of effect damage against the bio units, and that's really what he needs here. The Archons at the front, that's the only thing that he can work with, but they are a little bit clumsy, and they can't really connect with his army fast enough. Just look at Moro dodges the bone, and even the force fields are being dodged, and now working against the Zealots a little bit even. And this is starting to look worse and worse for Space Marine. He's losing way too much there. And on the ground we have the Vikings even in assault mode. The 3rd base just isn't happening again. He's losing production, as well as all of the gateways are eliminated. We have a few additional pylons being taken out, and it looks like he just wants to drop maybe even into the main base. No, evacuates for now. Moro is playing the safe. He knows exactly that every map counts here. In a best of 7, this can be over a lot faster than you think, guys. It can get very, very tricky, and for Moro, that drop down here at the bottom with the 4 medivacs, that really, really did the deed earlier. That really did the trick. So right now, Space Marine trying to somehow come back. I mean, Denmark has a great team here. We have Bunny and, of course, as mentioned earlier, Baby Knight just waiting to get their chance. But Sweden with a lead in the series, that would definitely give him a little bit of a leg up there, especially since they, of course, have some very good players that they can throw into the battle as well. Zunster and Mini Razor are just waiting to get a shot at the Danish players. And we have now 4 bases for Moro. A lot of mining going on there. Even in the main base, there's still a couple of mineral patches left. Triple SCV production right now. Already exceeds his opponent's numbers in workers. 46 against 44. And we have Moro just walking down to the base again. He's trying to take down that 3rd once more. Storm is on the way, but we don't have the upgrade just yet. And if Moro decides to take the game right now, he certainly can. There is nothing in the composition of Space Marine that can really stop him. There is absolutely nothing. This is just too big of an army. 123 army supply against 64. He's moving in, he's hitting the stim button. He's on 3-2 upgrades against 3-3, and he's eliminating the entire army. The GG is called, and Moro with the first point for Sweden at the NationWars match between Sweden and Denmark.